Cinema. Alright, so here is going to be my DAM 53 tutorial. I'm going to explain everything that really goes into 53, some of the basics and some of the details that you don't actually realize about when actually going for this time, and hopefully all this stuff will help you basically get the time faster and prevent losing the run when you actually have it. So let me go ahead and start with Dan Cervone's 53, and I'll walk through what he does and try to point out anything important in his run, and then I'll go ahead and show you another run, which is my dupe of the time, which is and also boostless run 2.x. So let's go ahead and get started with Dan Cervone's run. So when you're using 1.2 for this run, you could just cut both cinemas. You don't need to watch them. So that's what Dan Cervone does. Gets both. Now, when you start the level, you want to go ahead and be holding up left right away, because you want to have full strict, you want to have start getting speed as soon as possible and look down as soon as possible and turn to the left. So you're automatically going to the first barrier here, but you want to go to the left of it. And also, you don't actually have to take a perfect line here. You actually kind of want to go a little bit in front of the guard. It gives you better odds to getting the boost. So you'll see Dan Cervone do that. So he goes a little bit to the left and not perfectly to the corner, but it's pretty good. And you can hear the guard shooting, but in this run, Dan actually didn't get the boost here. So that's why you see him do a little turn, like a little right turn and a little left turn to get back onto the perfect line. So now Dan Cervone is on the actual perfect line to get to the next barrier, and he just wants to go to the left of this concrete barrier. So let's go ahead and watch how he does that. So right there, he hits that left barrier and he turns right, but not too much because there's another barrier that he has to edge along. And remember, he has look down here, so you want about 45 degrees look down for this segment of the run, from the beginning to the tunnel. So here he does another nice quick sharp turn to this corner here, which is what you want to do. And then from here you want to have a slight angle this way. You don't want to be perfectly going along the wall because you'll be likely blocked by the guard. So you should pay attention to the line he takes here. So he has a pretty sharp turn here, and it's not perfectly against the wall, but it's pretty close. Another thing to note here is this white spotlight here. In order to get a good gate, which is later in the level, you want to look up while you're standing underneath it. So Dan Cervone's kind of doesn't really do that in this run, but I'll show you in my other run. That's what I do, and it helps quite a bit. So he goes to the left of the guard. I recommend you don't shoot him, because you can get a guard to come out and boost you later. That's what I got on my first 53. I got a boost out of the tunnel, and it saved enough time that it actually let me get it. So you don't have to kill that guard. You can if you want to, but you don't need to. Okay, now this is pretty important. This line here, it's really easy to screw up. And it's not too big of a deal exactly what the line is like, but I'll try to tell you. You want to actually aim to go past here. You don't want to go right to the gate. You can actually see the gate right here. You see the gate right here? You don't actually want to go directly to the gate. You want to actually go a little bit to the left, you want to go to the right by this wall, is what I'm trying to say. So what you want is you want a line to just go right here. It will save time for whatever reason when you do this line, because it makes the guard spawn a certain time, which is really good, and you get pretty low lag by staying close to this wall. So it helps a lot. So that's what Dan Cervone does in this run. You see, he looks up completely, which is, you should be doing that in the tunnel already. And he's actually not even loading this this far region. He just has this concrete wall in his view, and that's really good. Now he kind of turns a little bit to adjust his line, because he's actually a little bit too far to the wall, but this is good still. This is exactly what you want. Okay, now Dan Cervone actually goes a little bit wide here. I recommend that you actually stay a little bit closer to the wall than he's going, and nevertheless, right here he kind of makes a small adjustment to get to the button, and then he basically, you want to just have this kind of be far left. You don't even want this to be loaded all the way at this point, but this is still good. Okay, so right here is where I would recommend you look down, because it helps get a really insane gate, but this is good too. Now, you don't want to like try to press the button super far away. What you want to do is you want to just kind of be close enough and hit it, and then like go away pretty quickly. You can almost even hit the button, like you press B and then run into the wall a little bit and then turn. Dan does pretty much a perfect button here. He presses it and then he runs to the corner. Now here you're strafe changing, so you don't want to get stuck on the wall, and you want to have good look down right away. So that's what Dan does. He looks down and he takes a very sharp turn along this wall. Don't grind into the wall, just have a nice line that kind of goes off tangent to this wall. A little bit, not perfectly tangent, a little bit to the right, just very tiny amount. And the reason why is you want to hit the middle of this fence gate that you'll be getting to. So you'll see how he takes this line. He wants to go left of this guard, the green guard, and you want to open the door at the middle here. And then you're gonna, as soon as the door is opening, you strafe around it pretty quickly. So he's already hit B at this point. The gate's already starting to move. So nice sharp turn here is good. You want to kind of like have a perfect line to the corner of this concrete wall. And looking up here is actually pretty good. So you can line up with the lock shot. So one thing you do is you want to have your look up just a little bit. The gun is like in between these two stripes. It's pretty good. Maybe a little higher if you want, but that's going to change on like how you approach the gate here. Nice sharp turn, so his back is actually against this wall. And the reason why you want to do this is because you want to have a nice sharp angle to actually hit this lock as soon as possible. The reason why you want to do that is because you want to shoot the lock early and open the door right away. So right now you're basically, okay, here's the tricky thing. You want to hit trigger now. Visually, when you're playing the game, this is when you actually hit trigger. And in 2 frames, Bond will move far enough that the lock will actually hit. So like, that's 2 frames pretty much. The lock's hit, and he hits B right now. So you need to hit Z and then B, like one right after the other. So you need to be pretty quick here. So once you hit B, you want to go left pretty hard, so you go into the middle of the fence, and then you want to turn right really sharp to get out. That's kind of what he does here. Now when it comes to the ending, I'm going to advise you not to do what Dan Cervone does here, because he doesn't go to the railing fairly quickly. He tries to take a perfect line to this edge right here, which isn't terrible, but it's not the optimal thing to do to reduce lag. But it's a good line, so that's not terrible, but he has way too much look down, pretty much. So he looks up to reduce lag, but his line isn't that great. In his ending, he loses some time, but it's, very, very smooth ending. You want to be close to this railing, and, have good turns and everything. And then look down, I guess, at the end here. But what's most important is a sharp turn onto the stairs. At this point, you just don't want to choke the ending. That's what it's all about. So, okay, now that we went through that, I'm going to go through one more. 53. We're going to go through my 53, which is also boostless, which does some other strats that I feel like are good for your gates. So let's go ahead and go through the video. So let me go ahead and start this one. Okay.
Is it just me or did the dam look really weird?
So anyways, okay, since I'm using 2.x, let me actually pull this back a little bit. Okay, so let me see if I can actually mute this really quick. Mute this. I don't want sound. I don't want to hear myself talking in this video. Okay, just want to make sure they do this correctly. I don't have captures of these, which is the problem. Okay, so anyways, so I start off same sharp line here, but with 2.x, I've watched some of the second cinema to have full speed, so the music in this video isn't very good to compare with. But again, sharp turns, sharp turn, sharp turn. Okay, right here I look up, basically planar view. This is super key if you want to have a good gate consistency. So sharp turns with full look up. My line here is pretty much perfect. Okay, so right here at this line, basically you want to turn here to adjust to get to the button. For whatever reason, this seems to help a lot with gate consistency. So you just want to get here and turn and go to the button, kind of. But you want to like have this. There's this white concrete wall I'm lining up with the left of my screen. So I'm trying to kind of go parallel with this, but mostly I'm just lining up with the button being slightly off screen right here. And I go right for it. Okay, right here, when I see the yellow arrow, let me go back a bit. So right here, when the yellow arrow is basically in view, I look down. And this helps for whatever reason of getting really crazy gates. And then you press B, basically like when you get close to it. Now sometimes you'll have it where you press B and you think you hit the button but you don't hit it. That's because the guard has actually opened the door right before you hit B. So that means you needed to hit B a little bit earlier in order to get a really insane gate. So it's not bad that you do that. It's not bad that you get like you can't open the door. That just means that you needed to press B earlier. So just use that as learning like experience, I guess. And then like it basically sharp turn with lots of look down is helpful here. You know, good line to the middle of the gate is all you really need. Going left of the guard is important. You know, nice clean turn here, and then, you know, just a classically good block shot. Now, okay, let me explain something. It saves a lot of time to actually have a low lag ending, and to do that, oh man, that just jumps. And to do that, what you want to do is you want to make sure you look up really high and you get to the wall here. You want to get to this fence pretty early, and you want to look up pretty hard or pretty far. So something like this is good. You want to have this railing pretty much be like all you see with the you know, ammo above it pretty much. And if you do that, then you'll have a pretty good low lag ending. You just need to make sure you strafe pretty close to it, but don't grind on it. Don't hit the wall too much. You'll lose time if you do that. Just hug it and like have a very, very low lag ending. And then planar view or, you know, look down here is good. Just have a tight ending here. And that's all you need to do for the ending. And I did some extra slaps because that was on 2.4, so that was cool. But that's everything I know about DAM54. Looking up at the end saves you probably about 0.3 if you do it right, with a good ending and everything like that, good strafing. Basically, that's like the only thing that gets people, and also just remembering how to do the gate correctly, just like looking up at the second spotlight and hugging the wall close and staying to the right in the tunnel is very helpful, and turning left is good. But that's it. I mean, DAM53 is pretty straightforward, but it really demotivates people if they can't get good gates or their strafing is not optimal. But you know, you just gotta stick with it and learn how to do the movement, and you'll get a boost or something like that, and that will help you make the run. Just to recap, you know, the block shot is kind of tricky. You just want to have good look up. You know, the gun's kind of lined up with this stripe here, and you need to press. You know, you need to press shoot a little early. So my bad. I don't want to do that. I just want to advance a frame if possible. Can I advance frames here? No, I can't. Anyways, you just go ahead and shoot right when you get to the lock, like 2 frames early, and the input goes 2 frames early, but it comes out at the right frame. Oh, hit B right after, and that's it. Hopefully that helps. Go ahead and be done with the vid.